Spark innovation across your federal agency with IT hardware, software, and services from Connection Public Sector Solutions. Your technology procurement challenges will meet their match as Connection's dedicated account managers offer exceptional customer service, and our extensive list of supported federal contracts means you'll always get a price that works for your budget. Learn more about innovation for your agency with Connection Public Sector Solutions at connection.com/fedcontracts.
Time to fire up the grill.
Time to go to Total Wine and find the perfect flavor to pair with those burgers.
Ooh, I love their beer cooler.
You love their prices even more.
Wondrous selection, helpful guides, ridiculously low prices. Total Wine and more.
Hi, this is Time Capsule episode 359, the final time capsule for 2019.
Hi, I'm Brad Dourif.
My name is Colin Salmon.
I am Emily Hampshire, and I play Jennifer Goines on 12 Monkeys.
Hey, this is Katie Sackhoff.
Hey, it's Greg Grunberg.
My name is Gareth Edwards.
My name is Neville Peach, and I'm a concept designer in film.
Hello, my name is Matt Frewer, and welcome to Sci-Fi Talk.
Hi, it's Tony Tolato again. Great to talk to you all. This year, we lost two members of the Star Trek family, because to all involved in this series, they are a family. Renee Auberjonois was shapeshifter Odo on the most diverse Star Trek series yet, Star Trek Deep Space Nine. In the heyday of DS9, he talked about playing the shape-shifting constable.
It's like playing any other character except that at a certain point you melt and you become jello and you run all over the place and then you become something else. And when I become something else, it's obviously not really me. It's done with like special effects. And so that like one show I had to turn into a rat, and so I didn't have to come into work the day the rat worked. And but when I came in the next day, everybody said, "Oh, you were great yesterday. You did really well." But actually, all they were doing were filming the rat running around. So it's really not that different from playing any character. You just he becomes very real to me, and so I don't even think about it. I do a different voice for Odo, but I don't do that voice. Like right now, I'm not talking in that voice. I don't know if you know Odo has a sort of a gruff voice like that. But I find it difficult to do his voice when I'm not in my makeup.
He talked about how he was used on the series.
I think every season they've given me great stories. There have been some seasons where I've had less to do, not that many stories to do, perhaps, but every story they've ever given me where Odo has been featured, I can't think of one that I've thought was not interesting and challenging, so I have no complaints. And you know, Armin, my dearest friend on the show who plays Quark, he's a workaholic, and all he wants to do is be heavy in the shows. And I'll say to him, "Are you heavy this week?" And he'll go, "No," and he'll look unhappy. And he say, "What about you?" And I say, "I have one line." And I'm saying there are some times when I do so many other things and run around the country doing other things, and so I enjoy having the breaks. But Odo's, I think there have been some wonderful stories.
This was a classically trained actor.
I studied, I went to university at Carnegie Mellon University. Before that, by the time I was 16, well, by the time I was 10, by the time I was 6, I knew I wanted to be an actor. By the time I was 10, I was acting in local community theater. By the time I was 16, I was an apprentice at Stratford, Connecticut Shakespeare Festival under the mentorship of John Houseman. And then I went to Carnegie Mellon, and after that went into regional repertory theater for about 7 or 8 years, and during which time I played massive numbers of classical roles, and then moved into freelancing.
On acting itself,
acting is a mystery to me. I don't know how people do it, and I don't know how I do it. It is trying to stay connected to that part all of us had as children, where we were able to suspend our disbelief and turn a roll from a paper towel into a telescope, and a picket from a fence into a pirate's sword.
He has these really nice comments on science fiction.
One of the things that science fiction, fantasy can do is by placing the story into an other world, into another time, we are able to get kind of a perspective and an objectivity on things that we might not be able to deal with or want to deal with or think are entertaining. But couched in the world of sci-fi fantasy, we can address very human problems. I think that's one of its great, one of the great things that it has to offer.
A true artist that will be missed. Renee Auberjonois.
All this week on NBC4, new products to new technology. Susan Hogan is showing you how local restaurants are changing the way we dine in and take out in this new world. Tonight at 6.
A new twist on outdoor eating.
A lot of it is creating flexibility.
How one local restaurant is making their outdoor space mobile, giving you plenty of sunshine and social distance for a stress-free meal.
It's all part of restaurant revitalization. Tonight at 6 on NBC4, working for you.
We also lost Aaron Eisenberg, who was Nog. On a rainy day where I literally had to drive over 2 hours to interview him at a comic book store, we talked.
Obviously going for the show, and I went to audition, and I had no idea. I went to the audition, I'm like, oh, some character Nog, and I'm like, okay, well, what is it? And they're all, it's a Ferengi, and I'm like, oh, okay, great, well, what's a Ferengi? And Ron Surma, he was the casting director, and he proceeded to tell me and gave me a script, and we kind of went over it, and he said, look, here's a couple tapes, and he gave me a couple tapes. I think one was The Last Outpost, and I was watching those a little bit. I'm like, oh, I see, okay. So I went in for the audition, and it was really kind of difficult. I walk in, and there's like seven people, out in front and behind the desk, and I'm like, oh my God, in one chair. So I walk in, and I have to act like this kind of crazy little character, which I really don't have any visual idea except other than what I saw. But when you're out of makeup, it's a lot harder to play the character than when you're in makeup. So I'm out there playing the character going. And the scene I actually auditioned was when I first meet Jake. And that was I scene audition. And I nailed it the first time, and I left, and they called me back. And I didn't do as good the second time, but they cast me because I did so good the first time. And being older, over 18, and then they could use me a lot longer and all that stuff. And I looked like a kid. It just worked out. I was very fortunate.
Aaron Eisenberg, talented man, gone too soon. Den of Geek had another great party at San Diego Comic-Con. And on the red carpet, I had a chance to speak with Raven Metzner, who is the Iron Fist executive producer, who told me about his days on the series. Is there a future for Iron Fist?
Oh, that's a fantastic question that I have posed myself to Mr. Jeff Loeb and all the folks over at Marvel Television. If there is a future for Iron Fist, I would like to be a part of it.
I did like the fact that you explored some Eastern themes in the show, and that was very important. And obviously having a central character that was Asian, too, was really important. Talk about, was that part of what your mantra was when you were starting and creating the show?
Well, I mean, I was on the second season. So I came to the show, and it already had, they'd already made certain choices, and a lot of them I really liked, and some I was really interested to evolve. So for me, what I thought was a really great opportunity, which sort of was hidden, was that we were going to take the character Colleen Wing, who was sort of Danny Rand's girlfriend and partner, and sort of make her the Iron Fist by the end of the season. So we were able to do that, and for me that was a really great evolution of the character. We were able to tease that perhaps Danny might have also still kept a piece of the power, but it was a way to sort of, create the sort of first Asian female superhero in the Marvel universe on Netflix, and that was really exciting for me.
Yeah. So as far as the evolution of the show, did you leave it where you could go back if you wanted to?
Absolutely, I did, and I'm actually right now I'm working at ABC Studios, and they were the studio that was partnered with Marvel in bringing that show to Netflix. So, I mean, who knows? I mean, it would be I think it's a story that absolutely could continue, and yeah, it would be awesome if it did.
What do you think was the theme that, especially you were trying to convey in the second season?
Well, it was really important to me. I think with a lot of superhero stories, there's a desire to have, especially when you have a kung fu superhero, desire to have a lot of action and fighting and people beating each other up. And for me, it was really important that Danny evolved beyond that. And I wanted to create the sort of first action superhero who was a pacifist. And so I felt like we got there with Danny, where he realized that having this incredible power didn't mean he had to use it. And I think that that is a theme that outside of comic books, outside of superheroes, that's a theme that was very important to me to try to get out in the world. So I really hope that people responded to it.
And how's your time here been so far?
Oh, it's been absolutely awesome. I just got here today. I did a panel with the folks at Skybound, who are amazing. I've been working with them on some cool secret stuff, and we'll see what goes on in the comic book world. It's really exciting. I'm a big comic book nerd. And I managed to score a skateboard from the Peanuts booth. It's got Snoopy on it for my daughter, Penelope. It's a Snoopy VIP. I'm very excited about that. And me and my son Orion, we love to pick through the trade paperbacks half off, and he got a bunch of trade paperbacks he was really into, and so did I. I got some Thunder Agents, which is a comic book that it's a Silver Age comic book that I was really into. So we've hit all of the big ticket items we like to hit. Yeah.
So it sounds like a family affair.
It is. Yeah. My wife and daughter are coming too.
Oh, that's great. Great to meet you.
Great to meet you too.
Also there at the Den of Geek party was Chen Ming of Comic Book Men fame. What lately are you up to?
Fire away. I've been, I was on a TV show called Comic Book Men.
Oh my God, of course, yeah, with Kevin and the guys. Yeah.
I was one of the guys with Kevin.
That's right.
But now that that's over, like, well, what are you doing now, Ming? I'm going to amazing comic book conventions, which is probably the best thing that came out of the show. I love going to Comic-Cons. But I opened up a podcast studio.
You did?
I help people launch podcasts now in New Jersey. And while we don't specifically cater to the geek market, we welcome all geeks, because what do geeks all have? An opinion.
That's true.
If we love a movie, we love to talk about it. If we hate a movie, we want to talk about it even more. So the podcast studio is called A Shared Universe, and it's in New Jersey. It's right by the store. Kevin Smith has used it. He has endorsed it.
Nice.
And we hope to have a podcast studio in every major city, including
that's great.
San Diego and Atlanta and Nashville, and any city you name. So wherever
great.
You're from, I want to have a podcast.
New York. I'm in New York, so you definitely want to have one there.
Let's open one up in New York, so yes.
Absolutely. That's great. So what's your strongest memory of doing Comic Book Men?
My strongest memory, I think we sit around and joke around about the Force and pop culture and Star Wars and Star Trek and laser swords. We would do that anyways. So the fact that they threw cameras in our faces and then it went out to the world, I thought that was cool to just kind of bring our stupid, silly conversations to everybody else. And when they first said, "Oh, we're going to put this on TV," I'm like, "Who's going to watch this? This is inane. This is not that important. We're not changing the world."
Yeah.
What I didn't realize that in every fast food restaurant, every office, every dead-end job, the same geeks in Bangor, Maine, were having that same conversation, and they kind of related to us, and I guess that's why it worked out. So I love that. I was able to joke around with my friends, and they put it on TV. It's preserved forever, ostensibly, and who knows, that may be available for geeks for generations to come.
Well, the fact that you had Stan Lee on there, obviously, that stuff like that, those are the interviews I treasure, the people that are gone,
Yeah, it really is. That's something where, when he came in, I was living in the moment, but I didn't realize how important that was.
Oh, yeah.
He was there, and I was, freaking out, and, it was as if a god walked in the room. It was cool. It wasn't until after I was like, you know what, my grandkids are going to see this and be like, "You were with Stan Lee?"
Yeah.
I was like, for a whole day. Yeah, sit down, kid. Let me tell you a story about that day.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty awesome. But yeah, he's definitely iconic. Adam West, Peter Mayhew, these are guys who have left us.
I know.
But they're icons, pop culture icons, American history icons. And it was cool that I was able to hang out with them.
Speaking of Adam West, Batman turned 80.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on the Cape Crusader?
If you look, it's the flying bat. It's your deflator mouse. It's a flying bat. Guy dresses up in a bat suit. He's clearly insane. Only goes to stop crime, and on paper, sounds very weird.
Yes.
And but it's lasted 80 years. It's touched many people. There's someone right next to me who adores and idolizes Batman.
Yeah.
Is their favorite thing in the world. The guy I work for, Kevin Smith, biggest Batman fan I know. I think Batman will live forever.
Yeah,
and,
I think so.
Just a couple of guys who just came up with this crazy idea, and it worked out. So.
She's tugging at your shirt.
Yeah.
Great to talk to you, buddy.
Thank you.
Congratulations on Comic Book.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for listening this year. I do appreciate it. Time Capsule returns in 2020. This is Tony Tellado. Happy holidays to you all.
Hi, I'm LeVar Burton, and you're listening to Sci-Fi Talk.
Okay, parachutes ready.
Boy, the things I go through to get auto loan rates as low as 0.99% APR for 60 months on new vehicles with PenFed.
You are aware that you don't have to be a military member to save hundreds on your auto loan, aren't you? Anyone can join PenFed.
As someone terrified of heights, I probably should have looked into that.
Probably.
Drop me off at the shore.
PenFed Credit Union. Visit PenFed.org/autos or call 1-800-247-5626. Advertised rates available through the PenFed car buying service. To receive any advertised product, you must become a member of PenFed, insured by NCUA.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Oh, that's a cheer we used to do in softball.
What? It's actually Geico's.
Whenever someone hit a triple, we would wave our bats and yell, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more. But we never got to use it because we would only hit home runs. Annoying.
The phrase is from Geico because they help save people money.
Geico? Yeah, they were our team sponsor.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.